We have a certain internet provider that has a certain type of a monopoly on a certain type of area that
which has a certain tendency to
they have a monopoly in a lot of areas.
It's ridiculous. Like, aren't we? I don't know. Like, every time, like all these companies that the government typically goes after, like Facebook, Google, things like that. Those type of companies that are monopolizing. Like, why are y'all completely ignoring ISPs?
Yeah, right. Like,
they let Comcast buy MSNBC. That is crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. And then, like, they gave Sprint and T-Mobile a little stick, but not too much. Like, they just let them do it. They just let them merge.
Like, oh, if you sell off, I forget what T-Mobile sold off to Dish. So that Dish would be the fourth provider, who, by the way, is having issues because they're new to the cellular game.
Of course, they're having issues. Yeah. All right.
You have the longest minutes I've ever seen. I thought B's minutes were. Wow,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen, we're in the technical world now. Things change. Definitely. But
that's crazy.
Thank you all who came back. I see that as obviously we had some technical difficulties, which we've resolved for the most part. So let's get to why you all came here.
Why did they all come here?
All right, Key, let's start this thing.
Hey,
it's actually kind of cool that you didn't start it yet, so that way nothing will be cut off. Let's run it.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Boom. Welcome everybody to another episode of Trigger Talk TV, where we talk all things video games and video games related. I am Key, of course, with my two co-hosts B.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
And Reese.
You didn't call me your wonderful co-host. I feel some type of way.
Why? What were you just doing with that controller over there? What was going on?
It had a speck of dirt on it, and I want to wipe it off.
My man just got his. I remember my first Xbox.
Fam,
my man,
this is fresh white. You see this? Not a blemish on it.
That thing's crispy. It's very crispy.
Now he's licking it clean.
That's definitely a brighter white than the PS5 controller. Definitely,
yeah.
I think the PS5 controller is like silicone white though. Like
it's like mannequin
right
white.
above matte white.
It's like awful. Yeah, it's not as nice. It's not as bright as that. That thing is nice
that's
looking.
A pure white controller.
Yeah, that's cool looking.
Well, aside from that, my ring light is like right there.
Also true. It might be doing it some justice.
I was gonna ask y'all how y'all day was, but I know how Key's day is going because my man's going through it right now with that certain provider with their certain activities.
Well, I mean, aside from like literally 10 minutes ago, it was going great. Everything it was a beautiful day. I got my new chair in, as you can see.
Nice.
With the dragon on the back.
We all got our new chairs in.
Secret lab chair.
And now Reese's, I have to get a new chair now.
With the dragon on
the back.
Back.
See, ever so slowly, I convinced y'all to do things that y'all previously said y'all would not do. A few years ago, y'all told y'all would never spend $400 on a chair.
Yeah. But you need to. You definitely need to.
You have to. This is health we're talking about in the long run.
Definitely do.
Look at that. Got my lumbar support. I got my neck support.
Like my prior game chair was nice, but it burned out way too fast.
I had my chair 9 years, so I was okay.
Well, also, Key, you kind of suffered for your chair, so you know.
I mean, the past couple of years it's been a little bit of a rocky relationship, but you know, we still held on to each other.
Rocky, like literally, like it feels like you're sitting on rocks. Damn, that chair.
Yo, be cool.
Busted.
I wish you guys could see. It's a beautiful sight right under the chandelier, glowing.
Nice. Her final moments. How was your day?
My day, work.
Okay.
Let me tell you about the magic of one of the pillars that we're talking about.
Okay.
I woke up 8:30, and I told this story numerous times. Woke up at 8:30. Said to myself, I'm not even going to look at my Switch until my work stuff is done. So at least the beginning stuff is done. Cool.
Here we go.
Started my work stuff about 9:45. You know, there's a few tickets in there. I'm like, cool. Got all my work stuff done. Let me get a little playtime. I looked up at the clock. It was 9:45. Looked down at my Switch. Looked back up at the clock. It was 12:30.
Woo! Bust a quick almost 3 hours on, of course.
You ever just
know
enter
it
the
can.
hyperbolic time chamber when you pick up your Switch?
Bro,
Yeah, now let me ask you a question. How much of that was story progression?
0%.
Oh, you was trying to grind
0%. B&D is
it's all about B&D.
Too fun. And Key, you know what? We'll talk about when we get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We usually gawk about and flap our gums at this portion, but again, due to technical issues, let's get right into what we do. Last week we had a Pokemon presentation. Pokemon Presents.
Yes.
In lieu of the lack of Pokemon information from the previous week's Nintendo Direct.
Exactly.
There were quite a number of people that were upset and flustered at the lack of Pokemon information. But then it was like, okay, maybe they didn't do anything because it would be its own event. And correct, they were. Pokemon is 25 years old this year.
Oh,
wow.
It's crazy.
I remember when I turned 25.
Only slightly younger than all of us. And there are a number of us that have been playing it since inception. Did you just say only a year?
What'd you say about Inception?
Just move on. Let's give the people the news.
There were some that were playing this game since inception, so since Red and Blue, and played all the generations. Me, I played the first 3 generations, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Sapphire, and then Pokemon Shield. Like all those gens in the middle, miss me. I wasn't part of them. I don't know the Pokemon like that. So I wasn't really into the Pokemon news until Shield came out. And now we have this news. So from that event, there were 4 items of import that came about. I'll be focusing on one primarily, but I will touch on all of them for a little bit. There was Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap. We had actually saw information about this in a previous Nintendo event. They just expanded upon that ever so slightly to show some new features. So Nintendo isn't developing this. Bandai Namco is. And just because Nintendo isn't developing it does not mean it'll be not exclusive to it is exclusive to the Switch, obviously, Pokemon franchise, things like that.
Nintendo is still has their hands in it.
Yeah. New Pokemon Snap takes place in the Lental region. If I'm remembering correctly, the old Pokemon Snap took place in its own region also. It's been so long, so I don't remember it exactly. It'll feature some legendary Pokemon that we're all familiar with, along with some classic monsters that we've seen from the beginning. Some of the features that they touted was being able to play melodies for certain Pokemon to make them happier so that they stay in place, so you can take the perfect shot, things like that. You can use special orbs to make them glow, I guess, make it look like they're shiny variants, something like that. Once you're done snapping all the pictures, you share them with the professor, you get your rating, and so on and so forth. A cool feature that they added was the ability to add filters and stickers and frames to edit your photos so that you can share them online. So it is a single player game with an online element. You share your pictures online. If your photo actually becomes popular, it can be featured in the game itself also so that other people can see your work. So I thought that was really cool. The quasi-primary pillar was that of the Pokemon Shining Pearl and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond remakes. These are remakes of the Pokemon Pearl, Pokemon Diamond Generation 4 games that released for the DS back in 2006 or 7, whichever one of those. Lauded by some as probably the best generation in Pokemon. People have been clamoring about this for quite some time. And around 15 years later, they are finally getting it. However, it's not all roses, because there was some people took issue with a particular aspect of the game. The battling system is similar to that of Sword and Shield, the new and improved version. However, the Explore view is atypical of the old Game Boy / DS games, the top-down view, where you could use just the traditional view. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the way it's the older version? Yeah. It's kind of like an upgraded version of. It's
an upgraded version of the old top-down engine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still top-down, but they kind of gave it this Sword and Shield flavor. They made it look more.
Yeah, they
What's the word I'm
enhanced
looking
it.
for?
They definitely
They
enhanced it.
enhanced
Like
it, yeah.
it looked. It's like
is a word to use.
it's right. It's this. It's the same. It's just not the old pixelated stuff. It's like modern cell shaded stuff, but it's still like little tiny chibi characters.
Let's say this. It has the chibi characters. It has
bro.
It has the Sword and Shield assets, but the Diamond and Pearl view top down.
When you're in the overworld, you're like this little chibi
view
character. But when you're in a battle, it looks like Sword and Shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Like the characters in Sword and Shield look very cool. Like the new look looks amazing. Like especially for like we're getting better technology, they look really cool. Like Sword and Shield looks really dope to me in battle and out of battle. And then I guess this was some weird attempt at nostalgia that just missed. Like I don't know.
That's kind of the consensus.
It's a miss for me.
It's in the middle. Like this is hype. This is Gen 4. They're finally doing it. Y'all had Sword and Shield. Why are y'all going backwards? Yeah. People are in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is definitely a go backwards move. But I'll say this, because Sword and Shield, I'm not really like a Pokemon aficionado or anything, but Sword and Shield, they reuse assets from old games.
Yes,
the assets
have like the beef with that.
Right, battlers. So if them changing the graphics for the overworld is an attempt at making the battles better with actual moving sprites for every single attack, not just specific attacks, then fine, I will accept it. I won't like looking at it, but I will accept it.
Exactly.
Because like I care more about the battles than me how I'm just running around the world map. Like I'm not really that, but
it's a bummer.
In battle is more important.
But the in battle is more important, and allegedly we're hearing rumblings that almost every move in the game is going to be animated for each Pokemon. So that's pretty sick.
About that.
Yeah.
If it is animated, I'm hyped for that. That is super dope. But it's looking like Sword and Shield is where I'm stopping so far. Like, and I didn't even like.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it took me a while to get Sword and Shield. I was convinced by a friend.
Like this generation is so coveted that it's gonna sell a bunch of copies. Like even the people
Pokemon's always gonna sell.
Like even the people who are like, I wish they didn't do that, but I love Gen 4 is gonna get it still. You know, like they're gonna overlook that because the battles still look like Sword and Shield, and allegedly everything's animated, and it's Pokemon, like you said. So
it's Pokemon. So.
And some people don't even care about the battles not being animated. They're just happy they get to play a new Pokemon or they get to use certain Pokemon.
I just don't want my Pokemon to use tackle and just do a little shimmy left and right.
Just do that little shimmy forward.
Oh my goodness,
on, bro.
It's so
that's from Game Boy. Like, I don't want that.
It's so they really use assets from way back and on like first gen. Like, bro, come on, we moved on.
Man.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, we have moved on, but not everybody's moved on apparently. The interesting thing about the the Diamond and Pearl remakes is that Game Freak is not doing them.
Oh,
it is a company called ILCA, which stands for I Love Computer Art. For those that aren't aware of them, they were founded in 2010, Japanese studio. They've worked on titles as MGR Revengeance, Yakuza 0, Nier Automata, Ace Combat 7, Dragon Quest 11, the list goes on. So they're not completely brand new to video games, and they're not entirely new to the Pokemon series either. They actually are responsible for Pokemon Home. So in order to work from home, you have to be aware of what the Pokemon looks like, their attributes, how they look when they move, things like that. They have to know all of these things. So I think that's one of the reasons why people believe that it was returned to the top-down view, because that's what they're good at, as well as being a throwback to nostalgia and things like that. So these games, the Diamond and Pearl remakes, are coming out late 2021, we've been told.
Late 2021. So they're coming this holiday season, getting ready for a flood of new Switches to be sold with a whole bunch of Pokemon. Like So smart, like from a
Get
business
ready
standpoint.
for the bundles.
So
The
smart.
bundles, they're coming.
Right. There could be like, there's definitely going to be some bundles. There's definitely going to be Joy-Cons or something of that nature. And they're going to sell a bunch of Switches and Switch Lights. Yeah. And if there's a new Switch, like a Switch Pro, like we keep mentioning,
that's going.
It's going to be crazy.
Yup, they're gone.
They're going to like, it's like, oh, the Dark Empire wins again. Like they're going to sell an exuberant
The Dark Empire wins again.
They're going to sell an exuberant amount of these things. Like I like, you guys know, like I like the Switch's technology, and like I like to have it around. I don't play it all the time, but since Bravely Default 2, I've been using it a lot. But yeah, people just, it's one of those things that it's so easy to sell. It's so versatile. It's so easy to sell for Nintendo.
So because you didn't get Sword and Shield, will you be getting one of these?
Absolutely not.
That's crazy.
My man said, do you think that Sword and Shield is one of the better ones that have come out lately? In my opinion, I don't know. Again, I'm not a Pokemon aficionado, but in my opinion, it is. And you're asking if he's going to get, and he didn't get that one, and you're asking if he's going to get the newest one that we kind of talked a little bit on?
I don't know. Maybe looking at this game, it will push him more in the direction of wanting to get the older ones.
Like, Sword and Shield are dope. Like, we've had this conversation a lot. Yeah. I don't know. Pokemon, ever since Silver, I've been like, all right, I've been there, done that. I don't know.
Silver?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's as far as I get.
Until you just like, I'm out?
Yeah, I just checked out. Like every time like I would check in on what's going on in Pokemon, it's like the exact same thing. Like nothing's changed. Like the graphics have gotten better, which is fire. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's the same. Like it's like no features new. It's nothing. It's not a lot new. The battle in Sword and Shield with the two teams, like with the teams of two, that is dope. Like where two fight at the same time, so you got to come up with strategies and teams and stuff. That is dope. But before that, there's been no Pokemon's just been the same since '97.
It's funny you say that, because you actually perfectly segued into the last point. Because I know it's not just you with these opinions and such. Like Pokemon has been the same for the past 25 years.
Yeah.
So from the Pokemon Twitter on the day of the Pokemon Presents, they tweeted, first came Sinnoh Remakes, which is funny, Diamond and Pearl. Then came Sinnoh Premakes. They are introducing Pokemon Legends Arceus, a new challenge and a new frontier for the Pokemon worlds. Mm-hmm. Pokemon Legends Arceus signifies a, quote, new approach to making Pokemon games, according to the developer Game Freak. That is actually the other reason that Game Freak is not working on the remakes. They are busy on this game.
No,
and boy, does this game look good. Pokemon Legends is being designed as the first major revision of the Pokemon formula in generations. There are 8 generations of Pokemon games, 25 years, and they're finally giving us something different.
Right.
They're taking an established and very beloved framework, and they're fusing it with additional action and RPG elements that are in other games. So for those of us that didn't have time to watch the direct, it was actually really interesting how they displayed it to us. They had the single lone person standing on top of the hill with the wide view of the landscape in the back, things like that. Relatively similar to another game that introduced their titular character in the same manner, that game being Breath of the Wild. So the thing with Breath of the Wild is that game took Zelda in a new direction. Zelda had the same formula since '87, essentially, except for Legend of Zelda 2, which was primarily side-scrolling and dying. Each game had
side-scrolling and dying.
That game's hard, but each game had like its differences. Like I'm playing through Wind Waker right now, and it's pretty different from like the other games, but they all followed the same relative formula. And then Breath of the Wild took that, punch whatever picture frame it was in, and said, we're doing this now.
Right.
So they like to introduce Pokemon Legends Arceus in the same manner to kind of fuel your imagination as to what Pokemon games are capable of, aside from what you know.
Yeah, it's time. It is time.
Dream up new opportunities that they probably, similar to your argument on how the Final Fantasy VII remake is what you wanted Final Fantasy VII to be back when you were younger.
Exactly.
That same argument.
Exactly.
So all these images while we playing the Pokemon games, like, oh, I wish I could do that. This is what they want this game to be. This game is a new breed of adventure for Pokemon trainers, and it's been a long time coming. Another quote from Game Freak.
Because it's true.
Development is in full swing with the aim to deliver a gaming experiences that delivers new ground for the Pokemon series. So more about the game itself. This game sends you on a quest to compile and complete the Sinnoh region's first ever Pokédex. So yes, this game takes place in Sinnoh. They didn't really specify, but it's way before the games.
Right.
Any of the
you
games,
said
actually, not
the
just
first Pokédex ever. So this is like eons ago. This is way before Ash was even thought of.
So all right, I'm sorry. They did say decades, so it's not that far.
Okay.
But if you think about it, the Pokemon technology is relatively recent. I guess they're giving it like literal years. It's been around for 25 years, so they put it back a few decades.
Got you.
Again, cool. In the Sinnoh region, this is before the Diamond and Pearl games. I can't really relate because I didn't play those games. But like all the cities and monuments that you see in Diamond and Pearl will most likely not be there. The name of the game is Pokemon Legends Arceus, but Arceus's role in the game, they didn't really tell us anything about that. I'm assuming that's something else that Game Freak wants to keep close to their chest until they announce at a later date.
Of course.
As you explore this early Sinnoh region, you will encounter Pokemon in the wild, obviously, roaming what appears to be a giant open world, like I said, a la Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Field.
Right.
However, the process of catching them will be a little different from what you're used to. Obviously, they're making a new game. They need to change all of the experiences. Because there is no Pokédex, you are generating this region's first ever Pokédex. And there aren't any convenient trainers nearby for you to walk past to deliver wisdom to you about the world. You are the one that needs to do all of this research now.
Right. You're the researcher.
You are the researcher. Yeah. So to catch wild Pokemon, they recommend that you can watch them afar from long grass. You can study their behavior and get a better sense of their routines before you actually go in for the attack.
Like Horizon Zero Dawn. When you
Something
first
like
start
that,
encountering the machines, you got to figure out
the machines.
patterns.
You need to learn their patterns and all that stuff.
Okay, all right.
You still do have Pokeballs. However, they're not gonna look the way that you're used to. The reverse Voltorbs with the button in the middle.
Right.
The old Pokebars of old are made mostly of wood, and little puffs of steam emerge from the top to indicate that a Pokemon has been successfully caught. It's a good feature, and that's how they wanted to change up the whole world. Because if you're playing this game and you have the same old Pokeballs, like, what is that?
Right. The technology has to start somewhere.
Yeah, the technology has to start somewhere. Let's see it. So you get the scene that indicate that they've been caught. You're able to freely throw Pokeballs at them, and you can catch them, but that does not necessarily mean that A, your catch will be successful, and B, that they'll want to come with you in the first place. You can catch these Pokemon.
Catch it, but it ain't gonna
catch it. So think about the original Pokemon series, Ash and Charizard.
Yep. I was just that's the first place my brain went.
So just think about that. So you got to encourage them. So you can do something similar in Pokemon Go where you toss the berries to make the catch easier. And yeah, they're trying to change up the entire experience. And reading that from the little excerpt that they were giving, that's really exciting.
That's very exciting.
Isn't anything that I've ever heard of in Pokemon games. Nothing I even considered possibly. Like, I catch the Pokemon and it's still rebelling. This is crazy.
The fact that you said something that you never even considered just goes to further show that for 25 years, they really didn't change Pokemon in any way. It's been the same thing to the point where you just expect it to just be the same thing with nicer graphics, like the same thing with nicer graphics. Now it's like,
they kind of like subconsciously locking into this box of expectations to be like, oh, this is all we have. We'll just make the box prettier, a little prettier, give you a few more decorations.
I Pokemon crap, but I really think that this, just because this is going to be their first, well, I don't know, but I'm assuming this is going to be the actual first like story Pokemon. And the previous ones, even dating back to maybe even the original GBA, or I'm sorry, Game Boy, it was all about battling each other. It wasn't necessarily about Pokemon the game
About
itself,
the story
or anything like that. It was just about battling your friends.
Oh yeah,
And
the story was essentially the same.
The
Yeah,
story is like always rinse wash. Go fight the battle or go fight the gyms, and
yeah. See, I
They
didn't even
switched
know
up a
that.
little bit.
Like, I didn't even know it was that bad. Like, because
Like Sword and
really
Shield.
remember the first ones, and I remember the story. Like, I distinctly remember that story with the Final Four and all that stuff, and Gary. I distinctly remember that. And then to find out that all these generations later, it's just the same thing. That's
Sword and Shield divulged the most, as far as I'm concerned, because there was no final group afterward. You don't have a rival. You have a constant companion / rival, so on and so forth. Because they tried to switch up a little bit, but it did end up just falling into the same formula.
Still end up, but they get right. I mean,
yeah,
the game isn't. You still don't play the game until after you beat the game, I guess. Like,
right, and then there's that.
The entire game is like a tutorial about how to battle.
I mean, yeah. So, in any Pokemon game, obviously there are starters. So, as for the Pokemon that are started, that was an aspect of the game that caught a lot of viewers off guard. A mysterious professor, they didn't even give them a name, but we'll take bets soon to see whether or not this guy's related to Professor Oak.
Of course, in some way. In some way, they might do something like that.
So this professor is visiting the Sinnoh region after venturing to many other regions during their travels.
Mm-hmm.
And this is reflected in the professor's partner offering. The grass type is Rowlet. He's from the Alola region, Generation 7, Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon. The fire type is Cyndaquil, Generation 2, Gold and Silver, the Johto region.
Now we're talking about stuff I know.
And for water, it is Oshawott, Generation 5, Pokemon Black, Pokemon White, the Unova region.
Whoa, they went all over with it.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So he literally went to all the different regions, and then he came up to you and was like, yo, I got these Pokemon. You trying to do something? So yeah,
he's like, you trying to do some research?
Generation 2, Generation 5, Generation 7. From that pick, I'm most likely going Cyndaquil. Because I went, where did I go? I forgot her name. The grass type. That's who I went with in Generation 2. But those are rather interesting choices in, the Pokemon community. They have a whole subreddit dedicated to themselves where they went to theory craft as to why exactly these are the starters. For as far, they believe it to be traced back to 12th century Japan. I'm not exactly sure where the Sinnoh region lies in the real world. Like, you know how they say Sword and Shield is kind of like in the UK region, things like that. I don't know where Sinnoh is. But those three starters that I mentioned, Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott, they said Oshawott was in there having links to archers due to his third evolution's Quill Arrow status. I don't know what it does. Oshawott's evolution, Samurott, is very clearly samurai focused. 12th century Japan, samurais. Sounds like that makes sense. And Cyndaquil, that they believe is based on a honey badger, which is found in Japan. But Cyndaquil's evolution Typhlosion, his Japanese name is Bafuku, which can be translated to Shogun. 12th century Japan. So these are just assumptions, obviously not entirely.
Also,
it's not 100% confirmed, but
not gonna lie, totally thought Cyndaquil turned into Blaziken. Now I'm not as hype.
That's Typhlosion.
Now I'm not as hype.
My guy.
Yep. Now I'm sad.
You know what type from Gen 2 was Chikorita.
Chikorita, which is crazy because I was just talking about her the other day.
Chikorita.
No, but you know what's hilarious about you getting confused about Cyndaquil?
What?
Reese,
you remember when we had the Pokemon bot in the Discord?
Yep.
And he thought the same exact thing.
Thought the same thing. No one said nothing.
Great. And you know what? I'm not even gonna acknowledge what I just saw. But yeah, those are the 4 games that are coming out relatively soon. I believe Pokemon Snap is coming out in the next couple of months or so. Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, late 2021. Pokemon Legends Arceus, 2022. They didn't give a quarter or an estimation as to when.
Just
but
2022.
we have quite a ways to go. The game looks cool. This is the only other Pokemon game that's caught my attention recently, other than Unite. Pokemon Unite, the mobile,
the mobile LOL game. Yeah. It seems like when a game is remade, it's basically going to be open world at this point, Western RPG at this point, huh?
A Western RPG?
Games are just going Western RPG. It seems like.
Yeah, it's like it's just a part of. I don't know. I think a lot of it has a lot to do with just where we are with the technology. It's like, why not? If I can expand my world drastically, and it just makes sense.
And I have the ability to do so.
Yeah, it just makes sense. All the indie games are a lot more linear, you know? They have like direct stories where you follow just a super linear story, but like a super challenging game and things of that nature. But these bigger companies with these giant studios just want to make these games as big as they can.
Yeah. So, and they better, because what's the point of having all this newer technology and they're just going to keep giving us the same experiences?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty crazy.
But yeah, I will definitely at least be copying Arceus.
I'm interested to see if they will have peer-to-peer battles. Can you battle your friends in this open world ARPG you guys got going on? That would be
the only information that we have is what we were shown.
Game
Freak is being real tight-lipped about this, and for good reason. This is brand new.
This kind of low-key made me kind of want to play Pokemon again. Like, I want to battle. I want to put together a build and like battle somebody.
I can see that.
And especially because I'm always in the Discord all the time. And shout out to one of our refined members, KJ. He's always like, oh, I got a 12 o'clock Pokemon battle I got to do, because he's always in these tournaments. Like, I'm putting, you can just hear him like doing calcs and putting his Pokemon together, and I'm just like, dang, man.
It reminds you of like
right here.
TCG tournaments and things like that.
Right? He's getting ready, getting prepared for his tournament. I'm like,
I might have to get back on.
Yeah, you know
Listen,
what I mean?
Kid, my Switch is right here, and Shield is still installed. That's all I'm saying.
Mine's is as well. Well, it's Sword, the better one, but mine's is as well.
Yeah, you guys should link up with KJ and do some battles, man. That'd be cool.
Reese is scared, man. We may have had one, if that. One.
Definitely had 3.
Oh, my bad. 3. Oh, it was D. My bad. You got that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. I apologize. You're getting Comcasted right now, so I'll leave you alone.
All right. Well, speaking of big, expansive games, I don't know exactly how big this game is going to be. It's kind of weird to gauge, but Outriders. This game is developed by People Can Fly, and People Can Fly, they are responsible for Bulletstorm. They co-devved Bulletstorm, which was a huge success. It kind of helped change first-person shooters and not first-person shooters, but Bulletstorm's a first-person shooter, and Gears of War. They co-devved 1 through 3, which are considered the ones. You know, so this is not like some tiny team that you don't know. Like, you might not know the name, but this team has been responsible for some bangers in the past. I mean,
so they know what they're doing,
right? Gears of War 1 through 3 and Bulletstorm are considered 2 of the best transformative shooters of our time. So they did a pretty good job. And the publisher is Square Enix, and Square Enix definitely has their hands on this game. You can tell. So Outriders is a RPG-ish third-person shooter. So the premise of this game, let's just get into that first, is humanity's efforts to colonize the alien planet of Enoch went astray. It went all bad. And when they get to the planet, they find out that there's this massive energy storm called the anomaly. And that is what gives people their abilities. So
if they're lucky enough.
Right. If they're lucky enough. It can tear you to shreds, it can kill you, it can make you sick and all that stuff. But if you got the right, if you got the right sauce, you turn into theoretically Superman. You can't die, all this stuff.
What do they call them? The
altered. You're the altered. You've been altered by the anomaly. So that's just the premise of the game. Right. And now the gameplay itself. So the gameplay itself, they mix elements of course, their Gears of War experience. Like you use a cover system, but they want you to be aggressive. It's not like Division where you kind of just strategically holding angles and just hiding for the most part while you pop out of cover. This thing is more like Gears where they want you to be aggressive as you use the cover and push. And they express that by the way that you recover HP. So the way you recover HP is your character's abilities. So I play a pyromancer. So if there's enemies that are on fire in my vicinity as I'm attacking, I replenish HP. It's to encourage players to come out of cover and press and do a lot of flanking and things of that nature and come up with strategies to win. That's rather than just like tanking and hiding and waiting. Yeah, so like it's to kind of push that and to get you to use your abilities. And
so I'm playing Technomancer.
The Technomancer, yep.
Yeah, so basically, as long as I incur damage, I heal. And then right now my 3 abilities is a grenade. So I chuck a grenade, destroy enemies, I get health. I also have a turret. Plop that thing down, damage you, I get health. I also have a missile turret, which launches this crazy barrage of missiles in front of it and kill groups of enemies.
Yeah,
I gain health.
Right, and he plays the sniper role. So it's like and I play medium range with the pyromancer.
Mid-range, yep.
Right, and he has an ability that will launch this crazy fireball along the ground, and then if their enemies die by that ability, they go up into the air and explode, and they damage other enemies. It's pretty cool.
Game's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's literally like they took some crazy cool ideas that they had for an RPA and just slammed it into a Gears of War, dude. It's kind of what it plays like. And it's really story based. So they said they wanted it to be more story based versus like a looter, like a Destiny 2, which has its story, but the loot is paramount. And this, we played for like three hours maybe.
3 hours,
and literally it was just story mission after story mission after story mission. It wasn't really about loot and running around and doing side quests. It was like, what's the next mission? What's the next mission? Yeah. And like it kept you engaged in the story, and the story is really cool. Like
I like
spoiler alert, if you haven't completed Fallout 4, I don't want to spoil it for you. So please rock some air muffs for the next 2 seconds.
Give it 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Right. So like in the story, like in the prologue of this game, you're leaving one planet, like so Earth is done and you're moving on to this new planet, and you wake up from cryo. They have to refreeze you, then you come back and the world is chaos. The energy storms are destroying everyone and the entire planet. So it's kind of similar to Fallout 4, and where you wake up and your son is older than you, it's that kind of thing there. So, and the story is very interesting. Like as we were playing it, we literally kept saying the story is interesting. It keeps you engaged enough to want to keep playing it. And the RPG elements are really deep because you have like 3 different skill trees and they are extensive. They're pretty deep. So I'm very interested in this game. We had a lot of fun playing it last night. So I think it's a buy. It's like 90% a buy for me.
And it's cool that whatever progress that you actually make in the demo carries over.
Yes.
What does the game have though? Like,
what you mean? What you looking for?
What do you mean?
Like upgrades, customization.
Oh yes, right. So
we're locked out of a lot of that, so we can't really expand on it. But from what we do have access to,
so what we do have access to in the demo is you could level up like your personal skills, like your personal traits. Like you do more damage with an assault rifle. You can your fire damage lasts 15% longer. This will it's literally like a sphere grid, like across. It's a lot of abilities to level up. And then there's another section that is like locked, and that's how you change your main abilities. So your main abilities, you have 3. Like Reese was explaining, he has his abilities with the grenade and the 2 different types of turrets that he has. So you get 3 abilities. You get one on R1, one on the 2 bumpers at the same. No, it's the 2 bumpers at the same time, and then R1 is like your strongest one.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a skill tree for that. So I'm sure as you level up, you get more of those to swap in and out as the game goes. So you can really tailor your character to how you want to play. Like if you want to play super aggressive, if you want to build kind of tanky, it literally lets you build the characters kind of how you want within their 3 trees. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep in terms of like the RPG aspects. It's pretty
and in addition to that, like your it kind of has the Destiny system as far as your gear is concerned.
Yeah.
That screens actually look pretty similar. But there are, and higher rarity items can tend to have attributes that add on to what you're already adding in what we're going to call the spare grid for now.
Yeah.
So I have a pair of boots that's like, oh, your ability lasts half a second longer, or you shoot 2 more missiles from this particular ability, things like that. So that just adds a little bit more to the customization.
Yeah, like there's a lot of layers in the customization for the character. It's not just like you pick a guy and you just level up in that tree as you go. Like there's like literally 3 different play styles for each of the 4 different classes. So it's pretty dope. And you can mix and match, and it's pretty cool. Like there is gear in the game, but it's really story driven. Like so far, it's really, really, really story driven.
Yeah, I just feel that a question from our chat that actually was interesting to see, because I didn't see that a respec option, because in these types of games we do typically make mistakes, not mistakes, but be like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Maybe I should have put it here instead.
Yeah.
Whether or not there's a respec, if there is, we're probably locked out of it in the demo. There's a fair amount of limitations currently.
Yeah.
But, I was gonna say that like they're probably not gonna offer you a respec option in the demo. But that actually leads me to another question. Was there some kind of like home base type deal that they got going on, like looters typically have?
Yes, there is a camp.
There's a home base.
There is a camp.
Yep, there is a camp. There is a camp. Absolutely. Yep. And there's like this giant map. And now I'm not sure if you can just walk around and it'll show you where you are on this giant map, or if you have to bounce around between loading screens.
Like a planet, like
probably.
Destiny.
But what does happen is when you're just progressing through the story and you're going into these places and looking for gear and stuff, when you're ready to load up, it's like an MMO. Like you can just tap a button to all be at the same door, so you can go and start the next mission.
Yep.
Like it's really progressive.
So much easier.
Yeah. It's like you really only go to camp to like change your gear and stuff like that, and like to play around with your character, and then you just go back to the story.
But yeah, this is probably a cop for me also.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I found a game like this that actually held my attention. The only potential beef that some of you guys may have with this, the co-op element is limited to 3.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yep.
I knew he was going to say that.
It's only 3 riders. So get your squads together. Get your squads together.
Make sure they are capable.
What is that about?
I already got my 3. We locked up.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why.
Apex
we're regressing.
Apex was like this. The first one I see just go hard on 3, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Which is funny because I was like, I don't like Apex because it was 3. And then when Warzone first came out, we were playing the heck out of that. But then they learned their lesson and expanded it to 4.
They went to 4 as they
went to 4. Yeah.
So
I don't know why they would do that for this game. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Like just make it 4. Like as we're playing it, there literally is no reason why it couldn't have been 4. Like
is it Destiny 3 too, or is Destiny 4?
Destiny.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
I think Destiny depends on the mission, isn't it? Isn't it 3 normal and raids are 6? Something like that. something like that.
3 is such an odd number, though.
It's a whack number. Like, these consoles are capable of holding 4 Bluetooth controller connections at once. Utilize all 4 of them. Like, what's good?
like make the enemies a little tougher, give them a little bit more HP, and just let 4 people play. Like,
yeah,
I just don't get it. Yeah,
but then again, the PS3 could house 7 controllers. But what game did you see that
sports? Don't disrespect all the sports games
aside from sports, because that's like
we ain't trying to hear sports.
Sports. I don't care. Sports. No, there was literally no other game that.
Not that I can think of.
7 play. Also 7
Mario Party.
7. But why? Just give me 8. Like, why are you giving me this odd number?
It actually was a. Wait a minute. What was the reason for that? Because you remember how it would light up on the controller? Like, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then player 5 would be 1 and 4. Player 6 would be 4 and 2, and then player 3 would be 4 and 3. Player 7 would be 4 and 3. Wow. I've read some article about why they limited it to 7, but something silly.
Whatever that article said, cap. They should have just went to 8.
He was like, technological limitations, don't care, bro. Make it 8.
If they lighten up, they might as well go to 10. Just light up all 4. Why not?
That's too many.
All right, that's crazy.
I'm moving.
Yeah, this is a buy for me. Mainly because, like, if I was playing this by myself, I wouldn't buy it. But because I have a committed stack and we're gonna have a bunch of fun on a late night, just like grouped up, it's definitely a purchase for me. And I like that it's more story based than just running around grabbing loot.
So you wouldn't buy it yourself, Dolo?
If I had no one to play this with, I wouldn't buy it. No.
But you can go online. That's what I mean.
No. I like to play these games with my personal friends. I'm not. No.
Yeah. No.
Like, it's an event. Like it's a campaign. Like, I love to, like, go on these journeys, like, with with the stack. Like, okay, once we pick the stack is locked in this game. You can't play it without us, and that's how we do it.
That's dangerous. Man, that's dangerous. But I feel you.
That's dangerous.
That's a $70 danger zone, but I feel you. I completely get it.
Yeah.
$70 danger zone. You are funny.
It's a $70 danger zone. Yeah. Nah, we're good. We're good. I trust my stack.
All right.
Trust.
All right. That's good.
But speaking of Square Enix doing cool things, what you got, Key? We know what you got.
You know what's crazy? Giving him
you're getting Comcasted.
I was gonna say, giving him the titular article probably wasn't the best since he's getting Comcasted. But
that's good.
You know what's crazy is that all I said was I got nothing. That's it.
You got nothing?
Crazy.
Comcast was calling me out, I guess.
Comcast was calling you out.
We have one of the most anticipated games for TTTV. Everybody who is everybody in the Discord, in the chats, everywhere was always talking about when was Bravely Default 2 coming out. Bravely Default 2, Bravely Default 2. We literally had a countdown. T-3 days, Bravely Default. You know what I'm saying? We was looking at who got the pre-orders. Literally, if you go check our Discord right now in the images section, we have a member that posted their image of I think it was a like a Best Buy special edition where they got came with a poster and like some coasters and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, that's fire.
And best believe I was hating. Literally, the only advantage that buying physical has anymore is the collectibles.
Yeah.
And I almost miss it. Almost. But I can't. Digital only, man.
Yeah.
So if you missed a couple of episodes back, I'm going to just run down really quick what this game is. This is Bravely Default 2. This was developed by Claytechworks, published by Square Enix. This is the third game in the series. The first one was Bravely. Then you had Bravely Second, which was the sequel to the first one. This one, Bravely Default 2, has nothing to do with either. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. They're all different. This game, you starts off with a main character waking up after being in a shipwreck, and then you end up on a journey with a couple other cast members. Now, all that being said, this game is fire. This game is amazing.
Bro,
you know, this game is so good. I actually had to take time to find cons. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write down, because obviously we had to talk about this game. Like, it would behoove us to talk about this game with y'all. But I'm like, okay, we can't just sit around and praise the game all day. I mean, we can, but we gotta be partial in these types of things. So
always.
And I had a relatively, actually no, but my con list right now is not equating my pro list. That's all I'm saying.
So, I mean, I had a good solid list.
Yeah, but
my
tragedy struck.
Kick the bucket, so I had to restart. So I don't remember everything that I had, but I just picked up and I went along. So I'm just gonna go over my likes with the game. I'll tell you right now, regardless of everything that is on this list, I'll let you know from the jump that I absolutely love and adore this game. We have literally sat in the Discord in the group chat for hours on end, hours, all day long, all of us together playing this game, having a blast, an absolute blast. Nobody wanted to get further than the next person. Everybody like, oh, what level were you when you got this? It has been an amazing experience, fun. But let me go over my likes first, and then I'll get into what I disliked about the game.
Oh, that's crazy. You came up with a likes list? Because I didn't. I said you came up with a likes list because I didn't. I just like
I came up because this game, okay, yes, it's an RPG. It has a lot of typical RPG stuff, but it does have things that is very oh, that's not supposed to be there. That is very different as well. And one of the first things that I noticed was the art style of the towns, how it's drawn. It's literally, it literally looks
that is
drawn.
The sickest thing ever.
When
you go into like a side room and it like zooms in and is
yes, the towns and all of the art and the way it literally looks hand drawn, like kind of like out of like a comic. It looks like it's straight out of a comic, but sketch drawn. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
It's brilliant. It's like water. It's like butter the way it's painted. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's like water painted. It's very beautiful. And it's not even like super graphically advanced or anything. It's just very beautiful to look like. It's very calming. It's very pleasing to look at. It's very different. You don't always see something like this. Beautiful. I love it.
So basically,
and you normally don't like that type of stuff, but it looked very well on this thing.
Very good.
Just take for those that still haven't seen the game, just take Octopath Traveler,
Miss Me,
and polish it and polish it and polish it and polish it. And it looks like this.
Nah, bro. I don't even think it's comparable. Miss Me with that game.
Okay, you're being ridiculous right now. Because
I will tell you,
that's all I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And everybody's giving the comparisons to Octopath. It made me kind of interested in playing Octopath. I'm not gonna lie. I'm interested now. Will I play it? I don't know, but I keep on getting nudged. Like, yo, if you like this game, you should play Octopath. If you like this, if you like this part, if you like this feature, you should play Octopath. So I'm like, dang, it's really that similar. I kind of want to check it out now.
Yeah, like I'm not against Octopath's battle system. It's the graphics. It's not visually pleasing. I don't like.
It's the same graphics. You don't like the characters.
No, the towns are definitely not. It's not even on par, and I don't like the way the characters look, especially the characters.
I thought the characters were 8-bit. No,
the characters are 8-bit-ish.
Yeah, it's.
They're like 8. They're 16-bit. One of those.
Nah, miss me with that.
Yeah, it's not the same at all.
Yeah, it's not even close.
You
must have forgot the way Octopath looked.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. They took this and they polished the hell out of it.
No,
that's just me though.
I mean, I'm talking about the character sprites themselves. It looks nothing.
Oh no, the character sprites are extreme.
You're talking about the world?
Even the world isn't.
The world.
Got you. I don't know.
Yeah, like the world's definitely closer, but the world definitely looks really pixelated. Like you can see all the individual spots. Like it looks like an old school RPG. This doesn't look like that.
But let it be known, I am one that is not against old school RPGs. I'm currently playing Chrono Trigger. But so this game has gotten me more interested in Octopath than I have been previously. I've only ever played Octopath's demo.
Same.
But with that being said, another thing that I noticed that I really liked about this game is that they have a stat for likeliness of being targeted. I thought that was really unique and cool.
So
I've
sick.
never seen that in an RPG before. I've never seen that in any other game before. And I thought that was a really unique feature. I thought that was really cool. Another thing that you have to pay attention to and look out for. Another thing that I liked about this game is that the counters are different.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
Off of anything. They counter you. I've been countered off of item use. Who has a counter off of item use?
So sick, dude. It adds a whole layer of complexity to the game. So sick.
Yeah, you have to really think.
Yeah, this isn't that game where you can just button mash. There's a boss battle in this game that has taken us upwards of half an hour. You have to be careful with how you proceed in fights in this game.
And don't get it twisted. When I say counter items, I'm not just saying when you use an item, they come up and attack you. No, when you use an item, or not when they counter, a counter can be anything.
It can be anything.
Literally anything.
On all. A counter can be put you to sleep. A counter can be whatever ability that they have in their arsenal. It's not just some attack. You don't know what that counter can be. It sucks, or it can suck severely.
Yeah, like
you never know. Like you in like typical RPGs, you examine your enemies. In other games, they call like Libra or Examine or whatever.
I do examine on every creature.
Absolutely every creature. Yeah.
Every single
creature. Like, okay, cool. They're weak to this. These are the buffs they have. These are the debuffs they have. They don't tell you what them counters are, man.
Right.
So you just got to figure out the hard way. And
they keep it up their sleeve, and you don't know what other type of buffs and debuffs they have. So let's say an enemy is weak to thunder. They could also have half thunder damage, absorb thunder. So it's like, it's a waste, you know? So like it's really clever.
Counter damage.
Yeah. It's really so deep, this
how
game.
The data that they give you. And you're like, oh, I got this. Oh no, I don't have this.
There's little curveballs that they really put in.
Yo, it's a roller coaster with some of these boss battles, and I love it.
Yeah. And another thing that I liked about this game, and this is actually 2 points, and they kind of intertwine with each other. It's the strat that's needed when using Brave, because you can't just go all out Brave. The Brave feature is you basically get multiple turns in a battle, and you can like forfeit your next turn depending on if you had defaulted. If you default, you get an extra turn for the next turn. So you really got to use a lot of strat when using your Brave. But then another thing that I noticed, which is super sick, is that you can use a spell or an ability without having enough MP to do it. So what you do, you can use a spell, use an item, and then even though you don't have the MP to use that spell, because you had used, let's say, an ether, you can already use the spell again on that final one. Normal games, if you don't have the MP, you cannot even click it. You can't miss, you can't try or nothing. So you're able to just strategically use your throw in items in your Brave slots when you're attacking or defending or whatever it is that you're doing, when you're setting up, supporting, whatever. It's super sick.
Dude,
I love better hope there ain't no counter in the middle of that, because boy,
could be countered. You don't know.
You could be countered, and it could say like, oh, cancel item, and then you lose that next turn because you don't have the MP to use it. Like, yo,
even worse. What happened to me was that I strategized an entire plan. I had my white mage and I max braved her, had a whole plan set up against the enemy that had counter white magic. So I max braved, and the very first white magic enemy countered, I put her to sleep. So I max brave for 3. Did anything, she just went to sleep.
Right. So he got Comcasted a little bit there, but what he's saying is his white mage, like he had to make a desperation heal move for the team, so he maxed out his Brave without having enough Brave points. So it put her in a deficit for her turns. He used all his healing stuff only for the enemy to counter and put her to sleep. So not only did he not get the healing, he lost 3 turns coming up with that character.
Also, if you are in brave deficit and you enter a particular status that stops you from moving, so stop, sleep, death, you stay in deficit. Your points do not revert until you are active and your turn passes for you to gain the brave point to get you out of deficit.
Correct.
And that just that messes it up even more.
Like, they really tried a lot of stuff to make the game as difficult and clever and complex as they could. They added a ton of stuff. But on the flip side, they give you a ton of options. So in the game, there's an entire job system. I don't know if that's one of Key's likes, but it is for me. It's one of the big likes that I have with the game is the job system. I don't know if one of you guys want to elaborate on it first, or I can just fire off reasons why I love it.
You can go. It wasn't. I mean, I love the job system. I love it wasn't in mind because I didn't even think about the fact that the job system. It's naturally just something I love. It's from vibes, some tactics. Nah, it's not in mine, but
right.
It's a job system. It's like
So what I love about this job system, and maybe it's been done before, or maybe it's in the rest of the games in this series. I didn't play them. I skipped the 3DS era, so I missed a lot of those really good JRPGs.
Crazy.
But what I really loved about this game is the job system. So they give the enemies all these options and counters and abilities and things that you don't know that they have up their sleeve. So they give you options as well to have things up your sleeve. And for me, what I try to do with JRPGs is I always go in and see where I can like maximize potential or maximize damage and come up with teams that just do weird things that isn't already ready that the game gives you. So, and you're able to do that abundantly in this game with the job system because you have a main job and a sub job. So you get two sets of abilities. So as you level them up, you can then have two separate sets of abilities, and there's passives. So there's actives and passives in this game. Dude, I am delivering exuberant amounts of damage by playing around with this job system. It's so fun to play around with the job system, and then to hear all the different like strategies that your friends come up with their job systems and their teams. It's so fire. It's so cool.
They took Final Fantasy.
It's in tactics and
they took tactics advanced.
Tactics. Tactics advanced. What about that?
And they revamped the heck out of it.
Right.
In Tactics Advanced, you have the main job, sub job system also, where you get the passives and things like that.
Yeah, I've never seen it in a turn-based like this though.
Well, a
turn-based? No.
In a turn-based, you've never seen it in a turn-based, no.
Not in a regular turn-based. And mostly in tactics games.
Right.
I've never seen it. I can't recall seeing it in a regular like typical JRPG, which I wouldn't call this typical, but in any case, my last two things that I really liked about this game was one, the boat system that you get to send out and just send your boat out to go get items. And over time, you get to call your boat back.
On standby right now.
Huh?
I said my Switch is on standby right now.
Oh yeah, my boat is out collecting for me right now. I sent it out at like 12 p.m. So at midnight, I'm gonna bring my boat back in, send it back out, then I'm gonna go to bed.
I wait for it to say max, and then I go pick it up.
Yep. And the
very last thing, that's a good strat.
I didn't know it was 12 hours. I just wait for it to say max.
The very last thing.
What's the very last thing, Key?
Oh, he's getting hyped for this.
Oh, I know what it is.
That was most recently announced to me, shown to me, forcibly pressed upon me, knowing my life would be destroyed, is that there is a card game in this. Let me tell you guys, first of all, I'm sorry if I get
this is the
between me saying what I'm about to say, but I always say that when I play a JRPG, an RPG, there's two things that I absolutely love about them, and that is when they have like like a job board system. You can go to the job, the board, and like
the hunt system from 12 or something like that.
Go kill, the hunt system, right? Go kill this enemy. Go find this. Go do. I love jobs. I love job boards, and I want to say card games, but Final Fantasy X really messed me up. So I'm gonna say mini games,
Mm-hmm.
but it's mostly card games. And because Final Fantasy X also gave me Blitzball. Anyways, card games. I love card games. I love card games. I love card games and RPGs. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
I lost myself at Tetramaster, and I lost myself and losing myself in what they are B and D, which is what me and Reese was about to get into earlier. And I was like, wait, let's get it later. I was like, wait.
So you got Comcast a little bit. So yeah, he's comparing this against, he's like you said, FF9's Tetramaster and FF8's Triple Triad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love
them. Absolutely love them.
No, stop.
Love those games.
Yeah,
and I love this game. This game is a lot of fun. I've played it for hours already.
Yeah, you guys have definitely put in more time than me. Definitely. I'm stuck in story. I can't play right now. It's bugging me.
It's good. We know what you're gonna do right after this, so it's all good.
I'm waiting. So the thing that they do in this game is very important to me because there is no PvP yet. Which you guys do? Hey, Square. Hi, my name's Keith. Put in some PvP, please. The only thing that they have is a win, loss, draw record. Like it keeps records of all of your, which is very. When I saw that, I was like, I gotta be cool because I'm not trying to be no buster. You know what I'm saying? Like I play card games. I'm not trying to be no buster. So I'm waiting to see everybody's stats. I want y'all to join the Discord. I'm trying to see some stats. Reese is always flexing his stats. I think he has 38 wins and 1 draw. And I have 34 wins and 5 losses. Not know how to play the game when I first started.
I think I have like 14 1-1, something like that. Like 12 1-1. You guys have played much more than me. 38 0-1. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Reese got 38 0-1.
Although there's an asterisk next to mine because
there's also an asterisk next to mine for the same reason.
There's a story part that if you lose, it's a game over. So those losses didn't count towards my record.
I did lose to Shirley, yes. Yeah. So I have an asterisk on mine also.
Yes, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say names and stuff, but
I didn't lose. I didn't lose in that. So I don't have it, but man, I loved it. I love it.
Yeah, you messed me up.
Yeah, the card game's brilliant.
Way too excited.
Yeah.
B, we was just in the Discord, like he's been saying now. We all been chilling in the Discord. B wasn't in the Discord. He was busy that day. But then we get this text like, yo, go to this place, talk to this person. And he put it in all caps. I'm like, he's way too excited for this. What is this about? I didn't have any indication that this is what it would be about. So Key and I were in the Discord. Like, all right, fine, we'll go look.
I was literally screaming. No, I did pop in the Discord and told you guys to go to the gaming hall.
I'm sorry, you did hop in, but then you left after.
It was quick. It was go to the gaming hall right now.
I remember exactly what happened.
There we go. Let's go, Kate.
Go talk to Shirley. Go talk to her. Go talk to her.
We're like, who is Shirley, fam?
I gotta go. Huh?
Yeah, no, and we're like, yo, who is this? So Key and I both went there. She wasn't on my screen. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe she appears at a particular time of day. Oh yeah, there's a day-night system, which is another
there is
cool
a day-night
system.
Yes.
I'll touch on that after.
Yep.
But she wasn't there for mine, so then I played a little. I found her, and it was getting a little late yesterday because I had just streamed, and then I'm like, I saw everybody was in the Discord. Let me hop in really quick, and they were talking about B&D. Bind and Divide is what it's called, by the way. So I'm like, okay, cool. I found her. Let me get a game. And Key was already experienced at that time. He's like, yo, let me guide you to victory. I'm like, cool, fine. So we played a match. He taught me the ropes, and I was learning right there. Like I didn't pay attention to the tutorial or anything like that. And we won the game. And then I played the second game by myself. She's like, let me see what you're made of. Played the second game. Got really close. It was a 10-11 on the final move. And as you see, I've just been going off on this game. And now you know why Key asked me earlier. This is what I was trying to say earlier. Now you know why Key asked me earlier how much story progression I made today.
Yeah.
Because I was just playing this game.
I see. Word. Yeah, dude.
Any card game.
I knew it.
Any card game, I need to fill out my binder.
Yeah.
I have to. Like it's a requirement.
So I ran into it first out of the group, maybe the whole Discord, but definitely of us three, I ran into it first. And as I was playing it, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like the card game itself is fire. It's like not just because there's a card game in the game doesn't mean like The card game is actually good, and it's very different from what they've done in the past that I've played. So it's a super like territorial game, and there's a lot of strat involved, and it's really, really, really fun. And the moment I saw it, the moment I played it, I was like, when I tell these dudes they're gonna lose their mind, like they're gonna put hours into it. Because I came in and I was like, yo, we were talking about the amount of time we put into the game. Like, because like we're all trying to be as accurate as we can. So like we try to turn our switch off or put it on standby, go to the home screen, just so we don't leave it idling and add 4 hours by accident or something like that.
Which I've done because I've fallen asleep with this thing twice now.
No, I usually catch myself in like 10 to 15 minutes. I usually just mash that home button before I fall out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we were talking about that, and I was like, well, I'm really efficient right now. I'm doing really good, but I'm like, I'm losing some time because of something that I can't tell you. Just go to the gaming hall right now. And now they are also losing time with this card game because it's fun. So it's not really losing time in the story because you're putting in time to play something really fun and accumulate as many cards as you can. Because you know, there's probably going to be some cool battles going forward with the card games. It's going to have some fun ones. So
that's the only kind of issue I have at the moment, is that there is a solid amount of cards that you can get from a character, from a person. Like, and once you get that one card, that's it. You can't get that card.
You can't get it from anymore. Yeah.
So once you
you might run into a brand new person who happens to have a deck that you've already collected from like previous.
Right. Which literally just happened to me. I went and played something I've never played before, and I already had all the cards that they had to offer me. So I'm hoping there's just more. There's a lot of other card players out there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping.
Well, yeah, it starts you at rank C, and I guess there's more ranks. So hopefully, as you level up, as you rank up, there'll be more cards and more people, more players.
I'm playing this a lot. I'm just hoping there's a lot of players. I can't play anybody else.
I hope so too, because right, we're at that one city right now where the game was introduced. So hopefully, going forward, as we get to more towns, it really opens up.
You can go back to the other town.
Oh, I'm hip.
Okay.
I'm story locked. I want to go back and play.
I haven't progressed since I found out about the card game.
Yeah, I haven't progressed. Like, I made 0%. Yo, I'm not kidding. I ranked up.
Like, y'all know my rule.
I think I'm about to rank up again.
A little side stuff, go do some story. A little side stuff, go do some story.
But this card game, I think Key initially you took issue with this game when you learned like how it works, because kind of was thinking of something.
Yeah, it is in a way kind of similar to a card game that I had birthed, that I created, but in any case, it's still a really fun game.
This game is really cool. Ridiculous fun.
It really
to my
is
dislikes about them,
yes,
which I have
was going to say, please can we get to the cons?
I have about 6 of them that I tallied up while I was playing the game. And one of the first things that really, really upset me when you very first start the game, you learn about cutting grass, which is great. It's actually a really great thing because you get a stupid amount of items. A lot of us didn't even buy equipment from the shop because we found it all cutting grass. Lawnmower simulator,
lawnmower simulator.
Yep.
Walk around cutting the grass, finding items.
I actually bought a lot of it because I have a ton of money now to do with it.
Yeah, you have.
Oh man, no, we were just cutting grass.
Has been at a minimum in this game.
Yeah. So the problem with it is that when you get an item, it pops up on your screen and you have to like accept it. It basically it tells you that you get it and you have to press A.
Yeah, like, there's a splash screen that pops up on your screen that stops you from interacting with the game, that you have to get rid of this screen first. So like while you're moseying along and you're pressing Y and you're cutting grass and you're getting items, instead of it going into your inventory like a Fallout or something, it just splash screen pops up, stops your gameplay. It's so atrocious.
It's frustrating. You have to press A saying, okay, yep, I got that item, and then continue to cut. Another thing that's a little bothersome is that I'm gonna call it switch animation. Like, you cut and you can't move while that slice is happening. So it's slice, move, slice, move, slice.
Yep.
Move.
And if you're running and you slice, you halt, slice, And during this slice animation, I don't know if anybody else does this. Like when
forward.
I'm always manipulating my camera with the right stick. Always. Like during animations, things like that. When you swing in that sword, you're locked. Everything is locked.
The camera,
in that animation.
You can't
I
do
can't
anything.
stand it.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, it's by no means is that a game killer, but man,
yeah, it's not a game killer. It's just bad. It's yeah.
Another thing that isn't a game killer, but it was a little I don't know, it was bothersome to me, is that I didn't like there was a lack of interaction with the world. Like, you know, this was an old school JRPG to me. That's what I saw it as. And I would go up to cabinets, dressers, drawers, and everything like that, and nothing. Didn't interact with anything. I'm like, okay, well, this is that type of game. That's not like make or break at all in any way. But I just found that as troublesome or bothersome.
Yeah, that's interesting that you included all these other like RPG tropes, but breaking into people's houses and going through their drawers isn't a thing anymore. I can't get like 5 people out their drawer real quick. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, man. I'm like,
but you know what they did?
That didn't bother me. I didn't even notice that. Right? Yeah, it didn't really bother me. Like there's enough like treasure chests in the towns and stuff like that. That didn't really bother me.
Yeah,
that was one of the things.
Yeah, in addition to the whole cutting grass thing, if you're close to something,
a house like
it will
a town or something.
I'm sorry,
like a house or something. If you're
near like a house or a town or even an enemy, if your intent is to cut the grass and you just so happen to be close enough to one of those, it'll enter the building for you. No swipe. You'll slash the enemy. Absolutely no intent on fighting them, and like I want to cut the grass.
Yeah, the cutting system needs a little tiny quality of life upgrade. So as you guys know, I experienced the glitches, and I've had 2 things happen to me so far that were pretty annoying. So the first thing that happened to me, which has happened to a ton of you, I believe, is the slicing animation. Like sometimes it won't register, and you're literally slicing through an enemy, and it won't connect. You have to like back up and then move again. And then
there was one enemy it wouldn't slice. Who was that?
Yeah. So some people have experienced it where it's not like you're missing. You're literally on this enemy. It's like, it's back up against the wall. You're just mashing. I say square, and you're mashing Y, and it's just not registering.
Yeah, there was one enemy. I can't remember.
Yeah, so that happened to me a couple of times, and what's happening to me more recently is when I go. So like the main town in the desert, I think it's Salamone or something like that. Savalon. So you go to So when you're in Savalon, and you're going into the buildings to go into the dungeon beneath.
Yeah.
You go into when I walk through the door, it usually zooms in to the building, and then you can see your character running around in that room.
Then you go, yep.
I'm encountering rooms where when I walk through, it doesn't zoom in, and I have to guess where my character is. They're off screen. I can't see them. And it's happened. It's happened numerously a lot on that door and a couple of other doors in the game. I'll walk through and it'll go do, and then it doesn't zoom in and I can't see my character. So like because the game gives you those quest indicators like a Fallout, that's the only reason why I knew where to go. And then like after muscle memory, you just know. So if you want to go back there, like but like there's been a couple of times turning the game off and on has fixed it, and other times it hasn't. So hopefully they noticed these little tiny bugs and glitches. This is the wonderful thing about current times, is that they can fix it. So I actually went online and looked around, and some other people also experienced that. So it's not just me.
That's never happened to me. That's crazy.
Yeah, it hasn't happened to me either.
It's cool. I'm your resident
glitching
bug guy.
Bug hunter. Yo, you should actually sign up for it. No, like seriously, there are bug hunters out there get paid to find things like this.
You're probably right.
Money, my guy.
Dude, it goes in. It really does go in. But that being said, we kind of have similar cons. Me and Key and Reese, we kind of have similar cons in this game. There's this little quality of life things that they could have changed that would be really nice.
Like how when you want to equip something and the arrow.
That's one of my.
When you add weight, the arrow shows up instead of down. Like
right.
Yeah.
is giving you an up because it's better that it's going down. But like it should just be a blue arrow pointing down.
Well, no, it should be red.
No, it should be a red arrow going.
Don't want it.
No, but I see why he says a blue arrow going down. A red arrow going down would give the impression that this is a bad thing.
That you are reducing
your weight.
You want a red arrow going up. That's what you want.
What's up?
You want a red. Say I'm going.
You want a red arrow going up if you're adding weight, or a blue arrow going down if you're losing weight.
You just say blue arrow going down.
I said blue arrow going down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because so right now, currently, it's a blue arrow going up, indicating that it's a good thing.
So the point we're trying to make here is, if you have 20 cap, if your max weight is 20, and you have something that is 17 weight, and you equip something that brings you to 18 weight, it's saying it will show you a blue arrow up, meaning good. Like that's a good thing, which it is not.
Well,
your weight going down is a good thing.
I want to say that.
Well, you have body.
It depends. It depends on the build. Yeah. Again, the game gives you a ton of options. So sometimes having more weight is a good thing depending on the character and the job and the build of your team.
But sometimes I still think, they should still do the arrow thing though.
Yeah. Because speed is a thing that my main character needs to have because he's so powerful right now that I just want him to go as much as possible. So I try to get his weight down as much as I can and increase the speed so he can just punch for days. But
that was my second con. My first con, this is more of a thing for me. I like the story of the game. Actually, the story is really good.
Oh yeah, there's one thing about the story I don't like.
And the cutscenes are beautifully drawn too. It has a really interesting cutscene system where it brings in all the relevant characters and kind of like a center scene where they talk to one another.
Yeah, like a play almost.
Yeah. I can't be bothered to press A and advance the text, so I have it on auto advance.
I do both.
The thing with the auto advance, and again, not a game break or anything, but it's just annoying. You'll be in the initial scene, and then within that scene, you may end up going to a sub scene, or like a memory or something that happens. The auto advance status does not carry over as far as I've seen so far.
What do you mean?
So when I'm in that sub scene, auto advance is not active. I have to activate it. And then when it exits that scene, the previous scene is still on auto advance, so it goes normally.
Okay.
But I have to activate it in the sub scene every time. And I'm like,
oh, okay. I haven't noticed that, but that's probably the way it is. I haven't noticed that. Because in the play scenes, I have the auto advance on as well. But then sometimes it changes camera, and maybe I just didn't notice it.
Yeah, because I went in the sub scene and they talked and then it stopped. I'm like, yo, why aren't they?
Yeah, see, I've never had to reactivate the auto advance either, but maybe I just didn't notice it. Huh?
Say again?
Do you press A? Like, do you make them?
No, I have it on auto. What is it? L? I think you just tap it and it's on auto advance. Yeah.
And it stays on auto.
Yeah. It. Like for that once, I've seen it a couple times so far. It might be me, I don't know, but I'll try. When next time I see it again, I'll let y'all know. But right now,
same. Yeah,
that's a gripe.
I'll plop it into the Discord depending on how it goes because I'm actually in story right now, so I'll see something as a lot sooner.
Actually, let me actually just pull up because I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. Another thing that I don't want to say it's a bad thing about the game, but it's something that I find myself not going to be using is the auto equip system. It follows this rather generic formula of trying to optimize your character as much as possible.
Yeah.
Despite its class and whatever you have available.
It's an RPG.
I actually love it.
It is an RPG.
I actually love that because I like when I'm leveling up jobs that I'm testing that I just want to see the skills for. I don't really care what they have equipped. It's like, all right, just optimize it so we can just go do some grinding so I can see if I want this character to continue down this tree. Because like when I'm getting ready for a boss fight, I like you get ready, you change your classes, you do all those things, you make them how you want them before you go in. At least that's what I do. And then when I'm just testing classes, I just optimize and keep it pushing.
I will say that I've never used the optimize button ever. And I will also say that I do not change my classes for boss fights. I go in with level 1 classes on boss fights all the time. Oh,
nah. Like I have my team set up, my strat, and I go in and it's nuts. Yeah. I love it.
Another thing, because I'm looking at the game right now, and It's actually an interesting term that one of our Discord mates, KJ again, came up with called menu fatigue. That's his primary beef with Final Fantasy VIII. There is quite a number of menus in that game. And when you go to the main menu in Bravely Default 2, you have these menus: equipment, jobs, abilities, attributes. I just have a feeling that they could have at least combined one or two of these options, like jobs and attributes. You go into your job, you can see their passives. Right. You should be able to see like their attributes as well. Why do I have to exit this, go down,
to go look at their abilities,
whatever's in here, to go back, go up?
Right. And they give you a toggle view button. Like, why not just give us a toggle for that?
Yeah, why don't you just toggle it right there?
Right there, so you don't have to, And also, and secondary to that is, yes, they could have combined. Also, give me something for the card game. You can't look at your.
There's no menu.
You can't look at
that was
your
on my
record,
list,
and you can't edit your decks unless you go talk to another player.
That's bad.
That's bad. That's so bad. That's so.
I'm hoping that,
atrocious.
However unlikely this is, later on in the game, if something happens with the card game, you get an additional menu item. Doubt it, but it would be nice to.
No, they're gonna have to put an update in for that.
Yeah.
My other con is story related. It's small. It's not a deal breaker, but I like the regular old school RPG trope where it's like it's like you're looking for the crystals and all that stuff. That's all cool. And like, you get the blessings and all that stuff. It's dope. That's very old school. But what I didn't like is how you meet two of the characters. They just like appear. They just walk up out of nowhere. Wasn't a fan of that. That's it.
Yeah, I can get it.
I thought that was pretty.
You know what's funny?
Like, what?
I think
they
we
just
talked about
walked
that.
Up,
like,
hey, now we're friends. Like, what?
Because I think
weird.
Someone came into our Discord and they saw me playing and they saw my hour count. I was like, X hours in the game, and it was like, you got all these people already? Like, it's typically in an RPG, you gotta find your mates, like common cause or by chance or something like that. That's how you come across. Right. Instead, what they did is they took an episode from the anime God of High School and just got everybody together immediately.
Can you stop slandering God of High School every chance you get?
First of all, I wasn't slandering it at all.
It's like,
I was just saying that's how it happened.
Yeah, nothing more than a prologue, but like they literally just walk up out of nowhere. Like they just out of thin air, they just walk up. Hey man, and you're like, all right, sick. Like I'm not gonna give any story points, but it's like, what? Just two random people from out of nowhere, and now you're just best friends walking around together. Very strange. But besides that, they are cool characters. The voice acting is good. The story is picking up. It's getting very, very interesting. So the story progressed very well. I just don't like how they came together. It makes no sense.
This was, in fact, the same team that developed Octopath Traveler. They've learned a
see what
lot.
I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot. Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying?
Just all of this connection to Octopath Traveler. I'm like, dang. Maybe
I'm saying if this is the same dev team.
Oh.
I don't think it is.
Habitual.
We can look it up. You should look it up right now.
Let's verify that, because I'm always going to draw comparisons to the game, but the severe lack of party interaction.
No, the developer was Square Enix for Octopath.
Nice.
But are they only publishing BD2?
What up?
Yeah,
BD2 is published by Nintendo and Square.
Okay. All right, I'll say they probably played Octopath Traveler and learned lessons, because there's no party interaction. There's almost none. Whereas in this one, this actually might end up being an annoyance to some people, with the indicator in the corner. But there are numerous instances in the story where, okay, you'll do a story element, and you see this in games like Divinity, where you hit a story point, and then the two characters have exclamation points over their head, indicating that they need to talk to one another to make a decision.
Right.
And BD2 does something similar called Party Chat. You press the plus button, and then whatever happened, like the scene before or something like that, they'll talk about it. Sometimes it's story related, sometimes it's offshoot, just some cute little slice of life stuff.
Right.
But it's interaction. These characters are living. They actually have something to do with it.
Like you start to feel their personalities and who they are, and like the voice acting is well done. Now, during those party chats, the voice acting is not active. It's old school. You just have to read the text. But because you have the voice acting during the major scenes and like the big side quests, you can kind of fill it in your head. And and I like the option. So in old JRPGs, all the Final Fantasies and things, you walk to a point, it would trigger the conversation, and you had to have the conversation. Yep. In this one, you have the option. If you don't want to watch, you don't care, you don't have to press plus ever. You can just clear it and just keep going, or you can start it and skip it. Like I've skipped like 2, because I
haven't watched any. You can clear it. I didn't know that. How do you do that?
You can clear them out, and then you can go to the.
Wait, you can clear them out? I clear them by skipping them. Like you hit the button and you skip it.
Plus R. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I do. I've never watched any of them.
Yeah, I've watched
every one.
40%. I've skipped about 60. Like when they talk about something like main story, kind of, and how a character feels about that, I'll read those. But like sometimes I just skip them. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm gonna go do something else. But I like the option to be able to skip those or watch them if you choose. Love that.
Listen, love that. And in anything that I interact with, movie, anime, video games, whatever,
you in the lore.
Character development is a bust.
It's huge. It's very huge.
And this is character development that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. I don't care for how they got together, minus the princess, of course. But the other two, it just literally makes no sense. But the character progression and the growth of the story is definitely very good. Boom.
And I'm enjoying it. I almost don't want to play the game anymore because if I beat it, I'm going to be like, that's another one. That's another one done.
Yo, that's really going to be the weirdest thing because the whole weekend, we were all together in the Discord, hanging out, playing Bravely Default 2 all together. So once we beat it.
I'm 21 hours in, bro. I'm in.
You're 21 hours in?
I'm 20. I think I'm 2040. I think I'm 2040. I'll tell you right now.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm going on hour 26.
I'm 2042. Yeah, so you definitely left yours on because
I've fallen asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so whatever your time is, I'll just add like an hour to it.
My character levels are I think you might have to add a couple, bro. My character levels are 21 apiece. Except one is only 20.
I'm 18.
I'm 25 hours in with level 17.
Yeah, I'm 21 hours in. See, but you cut more grass than I do. Boom.
Oh, I've cut significantly more grass than you.
And you guys have played more of the card game. Exactly. So
card game and cut grass.
Yeah.
Everybody's pockets. Everybody.
All right.
But there's that. There's Bravely Default 2, the amazing amount of pros, the slight amount of cons, none of which are game killers. Yeah. I'm still giving this a minimum of a 9.5.
Yeah.
A what? See, you mean a 4.5?
Yeah.
4.75.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not going that high, but I'm also not going to give that until I complete the game. So I'm going to wait.
First impression score 4.75.
First impression score, I'd say 3.94 in that range.
I give it a 4.25.
Yeah, 4.5. I'll give it a 4 because
4.75.
I'll give it a 4 because I personally like it so much, you know. But if I didn't have like a personal connection to it, I'd probably give it a 3.9. But I'll give it a 4. I think a 4 is very deserving of this game. A 4 out of 5. Moving right along, going into my throwback of the week. Let's just ride into this thing. We had to do some switching. Yeah. I don't have the song. I apologize. Let's ride right into this thing. Bang.
That song is whack anyway.
Nah, that's false. That's false. Key made something very cool happen. That's false. All right. This is what we got this week. So I know I love to do these because a lot of these games are near and dear to my heart and or these guys. And this one is very special to me and one of my co-hosts. And this game is responsible for something being very important that then translated into something crazy. So, yeah, I'm going to get there. I'm going to connect the dots. Let me get there. So,
bad big.
Yeah, without further ado, the game is developed by Omega Force. So you see what I'm saying? The game was published by Koei Virgin Interactive and Midas Games. It was released for the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 2, and then later down the line in its life, it got ported to the PlayStation Network. This game was released September 23rd, 1999. The game is Winback Covert Operations.
Winback.
Yes.
My man threw it back to the Winback. Yo, y'all ever play Winback though?
When you said
Winback.
Omega Force in 99, I'm like, it might be that game.
Really?
Yo,
I don't know if you knew that, but I guess so.
Omega Force didn't
Winback.
help me.
She was thinking Winback. You ain't even played Winback. How
Man,
you
do you
shoot?
know how often y'all talk about Winback?
How you
I never
shoot?
said I played it. Never said I played it.
You ain't thinking Winback. Yo, Winback is fire.
Winback. So a
Winback
lot of
fire.
you know how important Kill Switch was, right? Like I'm like a couple months, like maybe like 4 months ago, it was one of my throwbacks of the week because that game is vital to FPS games and third-person shooting games, just shooting games, period, with cover systems and all that stuff going forward. Kill Switch, bang. But Winback's cover system eventually went on to influence several later shooters, including Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. That's where they got their cover system from, for the most part.
Wow.
And Kill Switch. So Kill Switch is the game responsible for Gears of War and a lot of stuff going forward.
But Winback
is low-key responsible for Metal Gear 2 and Kill Switch, which in turn influenced Gears of War. And so it's just dope to have played the alpha, then the beta, and then all these wonderful games that we have now because of Winback.
Hold on, kid, before you get excited, because you're already way too excited about this game.
Also,
just know
the laser sight
ahead.
system. So it was the cover system and the laser sight, which was also used in Metal Gear Solid 2 and Resident Evil 4. This game is very important to the culture and people don't know about it.
Yep, just know that. And we look at the chat, some people, they saying, wow, I can't believe I haven't heard of this game.
Yes.
I haven't played this game personally, but the amount of praise that it's gotten from these two and our other friend Imran and Mame, I essentially played the game vicariously through them.
Mick played Winback. I didn't know Mick played Winback.
What up? Yeah, we let him use it. We let him use it, and he fell in love with it.
It's just like, yo,
Winback is
every year, literally every year, this game manages to come up. That is how
the controls absolutely suck. Like,
I bet they do.
There's something to get used to. Like, it's kind of like going back and trying to play GoldenEye. The controls are something to get used to.
It's like going back and trying to play Metal Gear Solid 2, bro. Like the controls are. It's a lot. It's a lot. Go play MGS 5, then go play MGS 1. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
This is one of the first games that they had to translate a single stick to a dual stick control. So,
right.
Is that thing
I've never played the N64 version. It started with me for we playing on PS2.
We had it on PS2.
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 It's a PS2 game. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I started on PS2. Then we was playing for PS2, and the controls are something to get used to. But once you get used to them, it's such a fun game.
Yeah, dude,
it's so much fun, and it's got story mode. R.I.P. to my black dude, and then what? He did a part where like
the very beginning of the game,
exactly what goes about, but there was like the famous line. He was like, "Oh, something." They're standing like behind a truck, and then my man, he does kind of like that dance, when you rock your head back and forth like that. He gets sniped. Ooh. He's literally in the middle of talking to you behind the truck. Like, something. He just gets sniped.
Yeah, he runs out of cover to go do something. Bad idea.
But the controls, it has a story mode, and then it has like PvP. Yo, it's so fun, and you're like gotta hide behind cover, come out, and each character has their own gun. Jake was the only one with a SMG or with a assault rifle, and then you had, I forget the dude's name,
and they have speed stuff. They have like speed and other stats.
Yeah.
Like the Jake dude was like one of the only guys who had like decent speed, but also had an assault rifle.
assault rifle.
And then I paid the big guy with the shotgun because he had more defense and stuff like that.
Shotgun, exactly.
I think his name was Law. I think his name was Law, something like that.
Law, yeah.
With the shotgun,
bro. I don't. This game is wonderful, and it's dope that we got this information about it being like a pioneer for Kill Switch, which became the decorated pioneer for all these huge games going forward. It's dope to put a little spotlight on this game because this game was freaking fire, and it was it's co-op. Like we played, like me and Keith played the story together, and there's like a horde mode, like a missions mode together where they send waves and they come up with different ways for the enemies to come, and you got to change covers and come up with new tactics. And then there was the PvP. Dude, game is fire.
I'm looking at this game, and I'm honestly surprised I haven't seen it. It's a combination. It looks to me a combination of Siphon Filter and Time Crisis, along with these other.
We got really far in the story, but I've never actually fully gone and beaten it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'll play it with you if we figure out a way to do that.
I'm thinking I want to play it.
You thinking? All right.
I like Discord stream. Oh my goodness! Really quick.
Yep.
Now that I say Discord stream it, this is completely kind of off topic. I can't. I'm telling you guys this on air. We have this Saturday a Discord get together to watch Big Hero 6.
Let's do it.
Everybody knows about it. Except
I didn't know about
it
until this moment.
Yeah, except you guys.
To me.
Is this what you were talking about?
Yes. So we were supposed to talk about this. Reese hit me up. He dragged me to the private Discord. It was like, yo, what is it? What is it? I'm like, nah, when we have our meeting, I'm gonna tell you guys. And we had our meeting, and I completely forgot.
He pulled the key.
Completely forgot.
Look at that.
This Saturday, a Discord get together. We're all gonna get together and watch Big Hero 6.
That's dope. Because I only seen the first half of that movie. I never finished it.
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
I don't even know what it is, but whatever, I'll be there.
San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it came from because I was playing Kingdom Hearts. And that's how.
Did you finish it on Finishing Fridays?
Nope, not yet. I gotta fight 8 more.
8 more?
8 more guys.
Gotcha. Yeah, see, I knew they kept saying in the chat that it was only gonna be 1 more stream. It might be 2. It might be 2.
It might be 3.
I got 8 more.
But man, we'll win back fire, bro. The laser.
I might stream that game in Discord.
The laser pointer system and the cover system from that game were then brought over to games Metal Gear Solid 2, Resident Evil 4, and then Kill Switch, which then became Gears of War in all of its glory.
Win back covert operations, Nintendo 64, $4.99.
It's kind of crazy how this thing went full circle. Like I covered Outriders, which is the development team for Outriders, co-devved Gears of War 1 through 3, and come to find, and like that game, and Kill Switch is famously known for birthing Gears of War. So it's pretty dope to talk about the game that pretty much birthed.
I'm probably.
I see you.
Probably definitely going to be playing Win Back in the Discord now.
Bro, yo, figure out a way for us to play, dude. I want to play this game. Like, I'll break my hands to figure out the controls again so we can play this thing.
Yeah, the controls. I remember the controls being so funky after playing like a regular shooter game and going back and trying to play this.
Once I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, bro, and you use the triggers or the bumpers to shoot in that modern system, it's hard to go back.
Killzone 1 was even back. I think it was different.
Killzone 1, yeah. No, Killzone 1 had the
It had the
top buttons. Yep, sure did. So it was like Killzone games like that. They changed it. They changed it, man.
They changed it.
Like you can't. I don't want to shoot with Square unless it's like some like side scroller hack and slash wild crazy game.
With Square, what's it called? Helldivers. Something like that.
Yeah, that game is
actually,
wicked fun.
Well, that's a twin stick game. So actually, no, never mind.
Yeah, you shoot with the top button, don't you?
No, you shoot with the right stick. Wherever you're aiming, you shoot.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Those twin stick games.
Yep.
Give me those.
That reload in that game's so smooth. Oh,
damn.
Whew. But yeah, man, I love Winback. It was very crucial. Me and Keith spent a lot of time playing. Like, not like one weekend you play this and then that's it. We put a lot of time into this game.
Yeah.
Like, we spent just running PvPs and running like the little co-op missions, bro. We put hours on Winback.
Yeah. I actually remember some kind of, I guess, quote unquote, important plot points that happened in the game.
Really?
And it's years ago. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I don't. I remember the thing that happened at the very beginning, obviously, with the dude who gets sniped. It became like legendary in our friendship. But I just remember like the characters you could pick and like playing the game. I remember the cover system. I remember all that stuff. I don't remember the plot points. So
Law sitting down. You don't remember Law sitting down in the hallway with his head down, ready to end it?
Okay, yes, you're saying a lot. You're saying I like this.
Spoilers,
I like this.
guys.
Dude,
Spoilers.
the game is dope, man.
Beast.
It's a classic. It's a classic that people just don't know about, and they love games like Gears. And it's like they might know Kill Switch, but they don't know Winback. Get your education. Go play some Winback.
Oh, you know what we need to do, right?
Understand.
We need to be the ones to bring the truth to light. Because let me see something really quick while we're
just like how Mag is the grandfather to all BRs. Just saying.
Winback Covert Operations has 213 followers on Twitch. Just saying.
213. That's tough.
Yeah. All right. So before we do our final checks on the 3 topics for the day and how we feel about everything, there's something that I wanted to throw out that is very near and dear to my heart. I know Reese has a small connection to this as well. Not small, like a moderately sized connection to this. A moderately large connection to this. So
really large.
Yeah, because it might not be this particular person, but you're definitely attached. So some information came out this morning about my personal favorite Rainbow Six Siege pro player.
Oh, yeah.
Pengu. So we all know him as Pengu. His real name is Nicholas Mortizin. Hopefully I pronounced it right. It's hard with his accent and like you're reading the name and you're like, dude, I don't. But Pengu, Nicholas Pengu is my favorite Siege player, my favorite Siege pro, and he announced his retirement today. So we try to make sure that we talk about all things video games and video games related. And I love esports, especially Rainbow Six Siege. Me and Reese, as a lot of you guys know, we traveled twice to Montreal for the big Super Bowl of this game. I've traveled with Imrod to Raleigh for the American majors, the US majors. Like, we love Rainbow Six Siege and we follow the pros and the pro teams. And Pengu is widely celebrated as the best Siege player ever. And he's the reason I play Smoke. You know, he was the reason that you use the SMG-11 with the shotgun and don't use double SMG, or definitely don't use the pistol, even though Reese don't know the strat. See, he always like use the pistol. How you gonna tell LeBron James what to equip? You wildin'. But
listen, I still get kills, don't I?
You sure do. But he just announced that it's been 5 years of living his childhood dream and getting the experience and being able to do all these wonderful things because of this game and his play. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Pengu and all the Rainbow Six Siege fans and all the moments that he's given us on Penta and G2, all the crazy clutches, all the crazy plays, changing the meta, changing the strats. Like, literally a lot of the things that you see in this game come through the teams that he was on with Fabian. So huge shout out to Rainbow Six Siege and good old Pengu.
No, he definitely brings the energy. Like, I've watched a number of matches via Twitch, like before I started doing it on my Twitch stuff. And it's cool watching it. Like, you get to see all the information and stuff that you don't usually get to see when you're playing a game, things like that. But being in the arena as it was happening, and the first, I think it was the first time we went, it was his team versus, it was Empire, right? And they went 22 rounds back to back.
Crazy.
Never seen anything like that.
Crazy.
Everybody was like, I want to go home, but this is just too good.
Crazy.
I've never seen the round count go so high in this game before. And I'd played the game for 3 years at that point.
Yeah, and they just wild comebacks, wild clutches, wild plays.
I say this all the time when we see someone who just does something so amazing. Like, some people are just different. They're built different. They operate different. And Pengu's one of them.
The GOAT,
That's
man. For me, the GOAT of Siege. Like, if Siege continues for another 10 years, like,
he's still gonna be
him and the team that he was on with those players through Penta and G2 will forever be enshrined as the pioneers or one of the best teams to ever do it. And him being like the LeBron James on the team is just wonderful. Wonderful.
That was touching.
That's it. That's what I wanted to get out real quick.
Key over here, he gets something new, and now he's messing with it. What you doing, Key?
You know you gotta touch the options. You gotta press options, baby.
No, I'm definitely putting my chair together wrong. This thing is broken.
Oh, you didn't put it together right?
Broken.
No.
I told you it's not it takes a little work, bro. Dude, mine is.
It wasn't that. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was what we got the little pedal things. These little
the flappers.
These Johns right here. The little.
You should not be able to just pull it off.
What are you doing?
Crazy.
Oh, you can't just pull it off.
Yeah, like you can, but it requires more strength than what you applied, bro. Man was just like, shoot.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this thing, man. Like, did I do it?
Yanked it off. No, right now it will snap back on, but like you got to snap it on the right way.
Yours comes off. Mine isn't coming off right now.
You have to apply pressure to pull it off. Like
I'm not doing all
pressure. Yeah. No.
Bam, you broke. Yo, wrap us up, please. You're doing crazy things right now.
Close the show, bro.
Oh,
I've seen like your height drop. Like, what is happening?
I don't know what's going on. In any case, thank you, everybody. This has been another episode of Trigger Talk TV.
Trigger Talk TV.
Trigger Talk TV.